How's it going, everyone? Another Scarlett replay for you today. This time, she's playing against Protoss on a map that's generally considered a macro map. However, we're going to get right into something exciting as Emotion's probe narrowly avoids seeing Scarlett's drone, which will now proceed to build a hatchery at Emotion's third. Now, Emotion is a very highly ranked player on the Korean ladder, and he's going gateway first, as well as taking a gas, obviously. So Scarlett's doing a bit of an odd build here. I don't actually have any idea what she's doing. She's taking a gas and then electing to build a pool after making a proxy hatch. Now before, like in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, usually proxy hatch indicated that you were going to make queens and be obnoxious to creep and spines. But more often when you took a gas, it meant that you were going to go roaches, and cats and a few other players would sometimes go burrow with the roaches and would just burrow micro the roaches. But in Legacy of the Void, it's very different. I've seen Vibe, who's an American player. Some of his replays are on my channel, link will be in the description. And on this same map, in fact, he built his proxy hatch here and then built Ravagers. He went roaches and then made Ravagers and sieged the ramp from the low ground. But it looks like Scarlett's done a little drone pull here and she's going to make static defense of some kind. I would assume spines. Yep, there it is, the spine. Ling speed started as well from Scarlett. Notice she's taken off gas and is mining exclusively minerals. And Emotion also has a probe in Scarlett's natural, so he knows whether or not she expands, which is very important. Emotion's mothership core is going to come out and defend these Zerglings of Scarlett. However, Scarlett is about to have a queen out on the field and has an overlord to spot. But Emotion has a tight wall in, he has his natural. He's very far ahead, assuming he doesn't die to this, but the mothership core has overcharged, so I don't think he will. 2 photon cannons going down for Emotion. Really don't foresee any way that he will die to this. Scarlett trying to push forward with these spines, and here comes the overcharge. Very, very powerful. Look at all that damage. Scarlett pulling the spine back. Very intelligent move there. This probe is still down here. This is very valuable for Emotion because it's indicative of whether or not Scarlett is going to macro and this is a feign, or if she's going to continue to commit. The cyber core is being severely damaged, and for whatever reason he stopped chronoing it. He should definitely reallocate this chrono boost, but the cyber core is going to die before the cybernetics core even finishes researching warp gate, which as Protoss players know is a nightmare. Now it looks like I misjudged how strong this pressure was, because this creep is pushing forward here and is going to prevent Emotion from walling back in completely. We see a roach warren coming down from Scarlett as well. Emotion sees this, however Scarlett is also going to expand. Spines are trying to chunk away at Emotion's pseudo wall here. His cyber core is already in peril again. It looks like he's not even going to bother researching anything from it. He does have a power mortal on the way, and he'll have minerals to build another one as soon as that one's done. And he does. Robo units are significantly stronger than they were in the previous iterations of the game in one respect, which is that you don't have to allocate chrono boost every time you use it. You just put it on a building now and it does it automatically. So Robo units and Stargate styles got kind of a little bit of a buff, especially to lower league players, because you didn't really have to worry about chronoing. You didn't float money on your chrono boost, you just put it on your structure and make units and they come out twice as fast. And whenever you deal with very odd pushes like this, someone pressuring you in a way that you probably don't have a lot of practice against, not having to worry about chrono is very valuable. We see Scarlett taking a third and a natural finally coming up for her. Emotion has 2 immortals and I do not think the Cybercore is going to survive. He's chronoing it this time, but I don't think it matters. All Scarlett has to do is poke up this ramp, do the corrosive bile onto the corner. Beautiful execution by Scarlett. That green line was a shift command that told her units to retreat. See that? What she's doing is casting the corrosive bile, holding shift, and move commanding back. So as soon as her Ravagers cast the ability, they jump back. I know a lot of you probably already knew that, but I like to mention that for new players because a lot of the hotkey finer points in StarCraft are lost among new players, so I bring them up. Scarlett is doing an excellent job picking away at her opponent, taking advantage of the fact that her opponent, just plain and simple, has had his infrastructure severely fucked with all game. Ooh, Emotion has a Warp Prism. This is going to be fun to watch. What I believe he's going to do is try to use the Warp Prism to ferry these Immortals away from damage. However, he's going to have to be careful not to lose his Warp Prism to Ravager fire. That was close. Woo! Oh, this is my shit, guys. I love this. Minigun used to do this a lot. An American Protoss who used to harass with double Warp Prism. More so in PvP. I think it's very fun to watch because if you lose the Warp Prism, you lose so much firepower and so much money. Emotion's done a decent job. Liquid Hero was exceptional at this in his day. Scarlett's third has some drones, and her natural has quite a few drones. Emotion is stuck between a rock and a hard place. He has to continue to make them... Okay, finally he's getting an observer because the creep has just gotten out of control. But he wants to make immortals, obviously. He doesn't want to be forced to spend time producing an observer. Anytime you can force Protoss players to use their gas and their robo time to make observers, that's a good thing. Because Protoss players hate having to stop making these big money units and having to make observers. So Emotion didn't die to this initial little pressure. He managed to stabilize off the, the first wave, but Scarlett really has just taken the map and done an excellent job. Warp Prism with the Sentry inside could wreak some havoc, but it looks like Emotion's not even going to go for that drop, which strikes me as odd because he's so far behind in the game that I think his best chance would have been just to force field the ramp and try to do damage. But he flew around with his Warp Prism and deduced that he's probably too far behind to win. Or, at the very least, he's very far behind. At this point, Scarlett has 3 bases, almost 30 more drones than Emotion, a significant supply lead, and most importantly, the Mutalisk. And here we go. Emotion going for that move that I said he should try. He's going with some Blink Stalkers here, which is interesting. He managed to research Blink, which is kind of impressive. And he should consider warping in another Sentry. He does. Ooh, this could be bad for Emotion. Oh, here come the mutas for Scarlett. Scarlett wants to fight with her whole army, but obviously she can't. But she brought the Ravagers back, crushing the force field. Scarlett brought her Ravagers all the way from across the map. Beautiful, beautiful decision making. She sniped the Warp Prism. That was Emotion's ace in the hole, his only chance of coming back in the game. And Scarlett showing excellent decision making. Emotion will probably be able to kill this hatchery, kill this little contain, but Scarlett just has such a huge advantage. Most importantly, 5 more Mutalisks on the way. Emotion does not have the adequate things to deal with this. He's just now getting +1. He has Blink, but not the economy to make enough Stalkers to deal with mutas. Consider the fact that Scarlett has such a drone advantage and a 4th base when you consider that consider the tech he has to fight with. So Emotion does not want to fight in the open, so he blinks back into a choke. Great move there. His Mothership Core is going to get picked off. It managed to dump all of its energy though, which is nice. And here's what I'm talking about. Scarlett can fly in. Sure, Emotion can blink, but Scarlett just has the upper hand because she can fly away in a motion, does not have the capability to chase, and GG. Great game. Scarlett with the proxy hatch. The initial little push didn't work, but she did an excellent follow-up, knowing when to tech up and when to take more bases. If you enjoyed this cast, subscribe. It's free.